So we can see each other sometimes. Okay.
Okay.
Jessica, it's the last day in Seoul, right?
Yes.
So how was the conference in Korea?
Amazing.
How did you expect from the conference?
I didn't expect anything because I'd never.
Oh.
I moved my phone off actually. I had never thought I'd ever come to Korea.
But you accept our invitation.
I did very quickly because I love army community, and I think I really wanted to have an opportunity to meet Korean army and to see the country where it all began. So I was very excited.
So it was first invitations from army community.
Yes, yeah. First invitation. And it was my first like academic conference. I usually go to human rights conference or like diplomatic conference and things like that. So it was very interesting to meet so many academics and hear all about their work, and they really delved into, army and BTS at a level that was really incredible. It was the first time I'd seen that.
So after the first day of the conference, everybody was talking about your speech. So could you tell me how can I speak like you so well? Secret.
Oh, you come to South Africa.
So you are born a good speaker, or
no? So in South Africa and a lot of African countries, we I don't think we use social media as much as in other countries. We love storytelling.
Still.
Yeah, so we love
you mean the face-to-face
storytelling, and because also at the Justice Days, because we work with hundreds of thousands of children, we need to keep people's energy, we need to keep them engaged. So I think it's just practice, just spending so much time speaking around the world, speaking with our young children. We've just learned how to have, I think if you love what you're speaking about, it'll come across in a good way.
Yes. From your inner.
Yes, if you believe in it.
And one of the interesting stories from you told me, the reason why African people like music itself, because so long time they are prohibited to speak themselves. So could you please share the story with us?
Yes, so during apartheid, which was an oppressive government regime in South Africa, so we had colonization followed by apartheid, and they ultimately said that white people have human rights and people of color didn't. And so they prohibited black people and colored people and Indian people and Asian people from being able to speak out about any issues. So because of that, as a form of struggle, as a form of rebellion against that, people would be able to tell their stories through music and through dance. So music plays a huge role in communicating our struggles, but also, communicating with each other to stay strong, to stay positive, because eventually, the African people believed they would overcome the oppressive government. And in the mines, because a lot of people were forced to work in mines in horrible conditions in order to get gold and diamonds for Europe and other countries, they weren't allowed to speak either. So they would use gumboot dancing. So they would hit their boots, but in a way that would continue to inspire them and would communicate with each other through dance, through music. So Nelson Mandela once said that music is the universal language. Yes. It's the language that we all understand, and that is deep in the whole of African culture, but particularly South Africa as well. Music is part of our DNA.
And about the BTS songs,
yes.
So they are usually speaking Korean, so you have to translate it into English, right?
Yes.
So do you like their lyrics?
I love their lyrics. I really do. I think especially their later songs, I think watching them grow as humans as well and seeing that growth in the lyrics was really powerful. As a human rights defender, I believe that we're all products of our context, where we're born, how we're raised. And I think a lot of the time we don't know that we have other choices or other ways of being because we're not exposed to what's out there. And so when I meet someone, I always love having an opportunity to help people grow and help people learn and help people change their mind about
That's the
things.
BTS.
Exactly. And that's what I saw in BTS, was that they were learning, they were
Mm.
growing, but then they were inspiring other people to do that as well. So we would definitely translate their lyrics. I must say, J-Hope's new album, those lyrics are incredible. Very me, human rights, equality, justice. So I really, really love it. And I think something that was very special for us was the song Idol.
Yeah.
That is a South African tune. Like that style of music is actually South African. And the dance move they do is a South African dance move. And
I think it's like from India.
So initially, it was actually an African. It was an African
really?
dance move, and
you told me J-Hope is kind of South African.
I think J-Hope was previously an African, especially South African, because
J-Hope
because he has that.
You can feel it.
Yeah, it's like I think something about our entire continent of Africa is we've been oppressed for such a long time, and we have so much poverty and so much inequality, and we're trying to fight it, and it's very serious issues, but we can't let it affect us so much that we give up. So because of that, we are very positive. We sing, we dance, we see the good in everything, and I think that I think J-Hope really tries to be that in his life. He tries as much as possible to see the good in every situation and to help others see the good. And that's a very South African thing. So we will see a very sad situation and we'll try to respond, but we'll do it in a very positive way.
J-Hope.
Yeah, there we go.
J-Hope, you should go to South Africa.
Oh my gosh,
because you have actually you have a very big stars concert there, right? Like Beyonce.
I mean, yeah, Beyonce, Ed Sheeran, Lady Gaga, all the big like American celebrities, but also like Latin America, like huge singers from around the world. Even Michael Jackson came to South Africa. Like we have massive stadiums because we hosted the FIFA World Cup. So we have massive stadiums, beautiful cities, beautiful nature. So it's honestly, South Africa, in my opinion, is one of the best places in the world to go. And I think that BTS should come and perform, but if they don't want to perform, it's a beautiful place to come and heal your soul. So it's a place to come and experience nature if you want to experience the ocean or the mountains or the safari or the wildlife, or if you like the city. We're so diverse. We have something for everyone.
No reason why they don't go there.
I'm saying they must come. It's so important because I also think it's really like diversity is important and representation is important. And they are army across Africa.
Oh, really? And many armies there?
So many armies in Africa. So I think it's really important that they've been to all the other continents.
I'm sorry.
That they must come to Africa. We exist. We're there. We're 54 amazing countries.
We never let them go.
and I'm gonna keep saying every time people says my opinion on BTS, I love them, I really care for them, but I'm gonna hold them accountable. They must come to Africa, and we're waiting. We cannot wait to host them, and I want them to see the work that a lot of African Army are doing, because we get so inspired by their work, but we're activists by nature. So it's part of all young people.
You are activist by nature.
So yeah, I mean, because Africans have had to fight oppression for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So and
they
still
have to
today, you have to be an activist. And for us, an activist is a very positive thing. It's a very good thing.
Sure.
So we don't just talk about racism, we actually work in communities to end racism. We don't just talk about human trafficking, we will actually go out there and try to stop trafficking. So for us, it's words, but it's action. And I think we put that hand in hand, and it's amazing to see. So I think if they came and they saw the work that Army were doing, particularly in the Umbokoro Club at Justice Day, so if they saw the amount of effort that Army are doing, I mean, to learn, I mean, they're learning how to help children who've gone through trauma and rape, and they're learning how to counsel. they're learning self-defense to teach the girls.
Yes.
Like they're putting so much of their time and effort on top of their jobs and their studies
Right.
to really serve their communities. And I think that it's something you can only really understand when you see it.
Okay.
So you must come visit. All Army must come visit,
Okay.
and BTS, please come and visit. We have a room ready, waiting.
So for me, being an army means gets opportunity to expose myself a whole new world.
Yes.
And since you are the first my friends from South Africa, and I'm so sorry for my prejudice because I have no information enough to understand you. So I just suppose you are black.
Yes, I think a lot of people, when they think of Africa, they think poverty, they think black people and black people only, they think starving children, and I think that's what the world, especially like certain countries, want the world to think Africa is.
You know what, Jessica? Actually, I went to the Saudi Arabia,
Uh-huh.
Riyadh, to see their concert.
Oh,
I mean the
wow.
BTS concert.
Oh wow.
So every friends of mine are so worried when I said that I'm going to Saudi Arabia because the Arabia country we have some kind of prejudice. It's kind of very dangerous place. It's I think it's very similar.
I think
When I
it's
went to the
similar.
Riyadh, it's
Yeah.
kind of so
Yeah.
it's so fantastic city.
I think we don't know enough about the world
Yes.
and about the people in the world, and I think people have an idea as to what Africa is, but if they just looked into it and if they just came to visit, they would realize we have great infrastructure, we have amazing people, amazing culture, beautiful cities, beautiful nature. And we have multiple races, multiple religions, multiple nationalities, multiple everything. We're so diverse, and I think that's what makes us so unique and so incredible. But I think people won't know unless they visit, unless they try. So I would say to people, don't believe what the media tells you about
That's
Africa.
exactly what the armies from Saudi Arabia told me.
Yes. Don't believe what the
Don't
news says.
believe the legacy media.
No, I always say to people, if you're just watching one type of news, then you're not getting. You must look at multiple sources, but also
Okay.
do your own research.
Yeah, right.
And there's a
It's
couple.
kind of literacy, media literacy.
Yes, yes. So it's really important to go out there to do the research and to don't always, look at the bad. Like I think the good always outweighs the bad. And yes, our countries have poverty. Yes, we have inequality. But we have so much more than that. We have incredible music. We have incredible art. You must see our art. It's amazing. Actually, we have some South African art at the craft gallery here that RM just went to.
Yeah.
There was two beautiful sculptures by South African artists. And so our music, our dance, our traditional storytelling, our history with ancestors, but also our beautiful, like our tragic but our incredible and beautiful struggle for freedom and democracy, because we're a young democracy. I mean, we're barely like 30 years old. It was only in 92 that we got our democracy. So we're a young nation, but we're passionate, we're beautiful, we're incredible. And I think if people come and see, you will realize that it's nothing like you see on the news.
I think there is some kind of similarity between Korea and South Africa, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that we both have a history of being colonized and oppressed by other countries, excuse me. And I think that we have a love for music. I think we have a deep love for storytelling and connecting with each other. I think that we both have our problems as countries, and I think we have a lot to learn from each other. I think we can both teach each other a lot and learn from each other a lot. And I think that, actually this year marks 30 years of diplomatic relations between South Africa and Korea.
Really?
And I think it's an amazing year to celebrate. So in South Africa, we're celebrating the relationship 30 years. And we have an incredible ambassador, Korean ambassador to South Africa. And
have you met?
Yes, we
Him
work.
or her?
We work very closely with him.
Great.
And he's come to our projects. He's visited Umbokoro, and he's actually with the embassy donating a vehicle that can transport young girls in wheelchairs to our projects. Because young girls can also be victims of rape, and actually they're more at risk, children with disabilities. So we didn't have the transport to get those children to the project. So the Korean embassy in South Africa have now, in partnership with the Korean government and Hyundai, have sponsored the building of a vehicle that can transport wheelchairs for our kids.
감사합니다.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
And you just told me that you're gonna have a very great project in next year in January or February.
Yes. So also through the ambassador introduced us to an organization called Hope for the Future, and they work on global citizen projects in Korea where they help young Korean children to learn more about the world and the fact that we're responsible for each other all over the world, not just our own country.
Yes.
And so what we've decided to do is that in January I'll be bringing 15 South African children to Korea to experience Korea, to learn about.
You mean the teenagers?
Yes, so 16, 17, 18, that age group. And then we'll be taking 15 Korean children from from Korea to South Africa in February. So we're very excited. We're going to show them
It's amazing.
everything. Safari, Robben Island, but we'll also take them to our projects. Table Mountain is the 8th natural wonder of the world.
Yes.
So they are going to love it. They're going to love it. And we can't wait to host them.
Okay. I hope our Army families can help you to host the 15 kids from South Africa.
That would be amazing, because I think it's in
because
sharing.
they can make a 15 different stories with different army families.
Exactly. And I think the best way to learn about a country is through its people, through its everyday people. So sharing a meal together, having a conversation together. We in South Africa, we always talk about, like, you know, when powerful things happen is when we're sharing a meal together, and that is something that I think will be very special.
It's very similar with Korea too.
Yeah, so that's what we
So
have.
whenever we met
similarities.
some each other, so 밥 먹었니? Did you have some eat?
Oh
So
yes,
we always check the people have some meal or not.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's very important to have a meal together in Korea too. It's very similar. A lot of similarities.
So I'm very thankful to your ambassador Park Chol-ju and
감사합니다.
our ambassador is amazing, and the whole embassy team there is amazing as well. And they're working very hard to collaborate between our countries. And so I'm very thankful to them and their partnership and their support of the Justice Desk. But also and the organization Hope for the Future. I'm really excited for that as well, and to continue building a bridge between our countries will be amazing.
So I think you had so many official interviews during your stay in Korea. So this is a question about personal things. So we are talking about teenagers who are coming to Korea in next year. How was you when you were a teenager?
I was a brat when I was a teenager. I was a bully when I was a child.
Really?
Believe it or not, yeah. I was a very, because I grew up as a young white South African in a country that was telling me that we're now free and equal. But what I was seeing was that all my black brothers and sisters were still living in poverty. So for me, it didn't make sense. I felt like I was being lied to. And as a child, I didn't know how to respond to that, so I rebelled.
So you mean that your parents taught you, or
well, the nation. So once we finally got democracy, then officially, technically, in our constitution, it says we are all equal. But just because it says
reality,
it
but
says
you
on
open
paper,
your eyes.
Yes, and I saw that we aren't actually equal, and that's when. And I was very angry because of that, and so I became a very I was just very angry with the world, I think, because of that. But I had an amazing teacher, And he said to me, Jessica, you can be angry with the world, or you can use your privilege and do something about it. And I was 14 years old when he said that.
Very important moment in your life.
And my life changed completely. And I got my first job at a non-profit organization at 14 years old. And from that moment, I said, okay, if being white means I have privilege, and it does, then I have the responsibility to use that to change my society and to make sure that we are building a society that is equal and just. Because it isn't right that white people still have more power when they speak than others. And I think it's really important that I took a stand and that I dedicated my life to fighting for real freedom and real justice. What's written on our constitution, on that paper, I want that to be the lived reality of the people in our country. So yes, when I was younger, I was a very naughty child. But I think that also that naughtiness kind of helped me now as an activist as well, because I don't take nonsense from anyone. So if people want to violate human rights, I will very quickly stand up and say no. And that's very, I think we need that in the world. I think a lot of people sit back when they see people being treated badly and unequally. And I think we all have the responsibility to step up and say, hey, that's not okay, you shouldn't be doing that. We should be as responsible for the lives of other people as we are for ourselves and our family. Just because they're not our family doesn't mean that we shouldn't stand up for them, because we're all one family, we're a global family. So I think that my childhood led me to who I am today.
So the last question is the same question when I asked to Paulo Coelho. So in Korea, the many young people think themselves we are a lost generation. There's no hope at all. But BTS tells, no, not lost generation, but welcome generation. But it is not that easy to pave the way for the young kids because they think we are so hopeless. So what kind of message you can give to the teenagers in Korea? Because
I would say you are not lost at all. I would say that you are more powerful than you know. I think that we live in a world that is telling us that we're lost, that is telling us that we have no future and we have no hope. And I would say don't believe them. I think the world puts a blindfold on us and tries to keep us in line and keep us in a box. And I think that's because they fear us. Us as young people have always been the ones who have led change in communities, who've led democracy, human rights movements, who've led good things that have resulted in lives being changed. So you are not lost. You are so powerful. You have a purpose. You have a purpose that maybe you don't realize yet, but eventually it will come to you. So if I give you any advice, I would say go out of your comfort zone. Don't just follow the status quo. If you can, travel. If you can, meet people from other countries, different religions, different cultures, different nationalities, and realize that you are not just Korean, you are human. You are a part of a global world. And we can be proud of our countries and proud of our nationalities, but first and foremost, the one thing we have in common is that we're all human. So go out there, learn, experience, love, and you will realize very soon that you are not lost. You have a great future. We all do. We just have to fight for it.
not today.
Yes. When they say we're lost, not today. Not today.
Just not today. Thank you for our casual interview.
Of course.
And I'm happy to say goodbye and see you soon in January or February.
I can't wait. Thank you. And thank you for having me and inviting me. It's been wonderful.
It's our honor.
It's
Actually,
been
yeah,
great.
your speech is the focus of this conference.
Honor. I loved it. Thank you very much.
감사합니다. How can I say in Afrikaans 감사합니다? Because I know you have the tens of official languages.
Yes.
Just one.
You can say donkey.
Danke.
Yes.
Very similar to
Yeah.
thank you.
So yeah, dankie is
Dankie.
is thank you in
Mm.
Afrikaans. But yeah, our version of like welcome and hello, we often say wamkelekile or dumela. And it's it's a big thing for us is we don't say goodbye because we always know that we will meet again.
You know what? When I decided to go to the Saudi Arabia to see
Mhm.
the concert, I'm searching for a Aman. That is the priest of Islam. And he came over to our armies. It's about the 10th army who decided to go to the concert in there.
Oh, wow.
And he taught us about the culture
Mm.
so in Arabian country. So I think it's very important. The 15 families, if they want to host the 15 kids from the South Africa,
Yes.
if your group provides some times to learn about the culture, what
Yes.
face language.
That would be amazing. And any groups, if anyone wants to come visit the Justice Desk in South Africa, you want to come visit our work, please just contact us. You can go to the Justice Desk, justicedesk.org.
Pattern.
Yes, this is
This patterns.
our beautiful African pattern.
There is
come visit.
two hands, one hand and two hands.
Yes. So what we're saying is, you know, especially us as young people, we're often told we're too small to make a difference, that our hands are too small. But when we all come together, we become giants, our voice becomes bigger than ever, and we can change the world. So don't think you're small, you're part of a wider community, and we're gonna do this together. That's Ubuntu. Yeah.
감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.